Hello everyone, come to the next video. Scary videos recorded with a camera. If you like me, please follow me to watch more videos. Around 12:45 noon on September 29, 2019, employees in a commodity processing company in Ningbo, Zhejiang, China are busy in their respective positions right now. An employee appears to be functioning normally but creates a major disaster. At 12:48, a male employee wearing a dark green t-shirt left the packaging factory. Enter the perfume cannery to prepare and heat the perfume ingredients. And the next scene is very important. As soon as he poured the hot perfume ingredients into a plastic bucket, a fire suddenly flared up. When the fire appeared, this employee's series of firefighting actions led people to call him Mo Tat Sa. First, he used his mouth to blow, hoped to extinguish the fire. But the fire not only did not go out, on the contrary, it is even greater. He took another lid to cover the burning plastic barrel. Found the lid and barrel did not match. The fire still burns. At this time, the remaining flammable liquid in the metal barrel was also burned. Immediately afterwards, 1 point of fire instantly turned into 2 points of fire. Seeing the fire getting bigger and bigger, he used his mouth to blow into the fire again. Found still not working. In a panic, I found a piece of cardboard to fan the fire. Fan into the fire. The fire did not go out, but only got bigger. When he stopped fanning, objectively speaking, the fire right now is not very big. If this time used the correct processing method, the fire can be completely extinguished. There are also 3 fire extinguishers not far away. Obviously, he didn't find out and continued his misbehavior. The plastic barrels melted and we saw the fire build up. This guy's kind of paralyzed. Keep going back and forth looking for ways to put out the fire. At this time, the fire was still in its early stages. You can still get the fire under control if you choose to put it out with a fire extinguisher. Unfortunately, he still hasn't found a fire extinguisher nearby. 12:52. The male employee of the Daily Necessities packaging workshop came to the perfume filling workshop to check the fire. It had been 2 full minutes since he discovered the fire. He didn't do anything to put out the fire when he saw it got bigger. Instead, he rushed out of the production workshop. At this time, the plastic bucket was completely melted by the fire. All the perfume raw materials flow out to form a flowing fire. And this person then made a mistake that got the fire out of control. He threw water directly at the fire. The fire quickly spread to the 4 middle schools in time and ignited the surrounding combustibles to form a violent combustion. Apparently, he didn't know about similar perfumes. Ethanol, gasoline, and other substances that clear rainwater. Using water to put out a fire is like pouring oil on the fire. 12:53. Another employee called by the employee of the Daily Necessities packaging workshop rushed to the fire workshop. But unfortunately, they did not take effective firefighting measures. I didn't call the police immediately. Did not notify the upstairs personnel to evacuate in time. Instead, he hurriedly pointed at the fire and quickly fled the fire. A series of wrong firefighting actions caused the fire to spread and expand without any restraint. The smoke enveloped the fire and quickly swallowed the entire perfume canning workshop. Then it spreads upstairs. Put at risk 20 employees who are working on packaging in the production workshops on the 2nd and 3rd floors. It can be seen from the mobile phone footage of nearby residents. Fire detonates chemical raw materials in perfume filling workshop. Instantly form a mushroom cloud. Afterwards, it was found that the Daily Necessities company only had 1 staircase leading upstairs. After the personnel in the production workshops on the 2nd and 3rd floors discovered Mars, only 2 people jumped off the building to escape. The remaining 18 people were blocked by the large amount of toxic smoke pouring into the stairwell. And when they returned to the workshop, a series of metal anti-theft nets became a roadblock for their escape. Ultimately, 19 people were killed, including employees of the perfume bottling workshop on the first floor. 3 people were injured. From the start of the fire to the spread of the fire, a guy who can be extinguished with the same fire extinguisher. It turned into a tragedy in which 19 people died and 3 were injured in just 3.5 minutes. And in that 3.5 minutes, wrong choice again and again. One indifferent bystander after another. Cause the fire to spread, ultimately resulting in a tragedy that claimed 19 lives. Safety is only for a moment. If the production workshop employees usually master a little more firefighting knowledge, if the enterprise sets up escape routes in accordance with fire safety requirements, this tragedy was entirely avoidable. However, when tragedy strikes, all of this is irreversible. Fire, theft, and bear-proof children. Because kids can always make your life exciting. A little girl in Meishan, Sichuan holds a red balloon and goes to the stacking point of the phone box to squat down. Less than 30 seconds. The little girl suddenly ran out with the balloon in her arms. Called for help from parents at the same time. Immediately after, flames quickly sprang out from the position of the phone box to prevent the fire from spreading to the next storefront. The child's family hurriedly pushed the foam near the side of the storefront in the direction of cutting, trying to protect the facade from the fire. However, the foam in front of the facade is about 30 square meters, and these foam boxes are all next to each other. So the fire started to spread rapidly, although there are many people at the scene trying to put out the fire, but no one went to get a fire extinguisher for disposal immediately. At this point, I can't even see the underground water pipe. 3 minutes after the fire broke out, the water pipe suddenly burst. So much tap water started spewing out. Maybe see the water pipes starting to help put out the fire. People around remember to use fire extinguishers to put out fires, but due to the large amount of combustible materials piled up around, in addition to the late safe, fire extinguishers are no longer effective in the face of fire. After about 5 minutes, fire and rescue personnel arrived at the scene. At this time, the foam piled up in the outer box yard of the facade has become a violent burning stage. The aluminum alloy rolling door has been burned through by the fire. The glass windows on the second floor were also partially burned out. This store immunization building is used for warehouses. The second floor is used for resting. Fortunately, everyone who lived in the room on the 12th floor has already come out. At this time, some windows of the baking room of the fire have been deformed. Shards of glass kept falling from the scene. Firefighters began to water cannon the food from 3 directions, bringing the perimeter food under control quickly. Then a group of rescuers entered the gate city to save and synchronize the delay. Another group of rescue workers drove the ladder outside the store and began to enter the second floor room. Check if there is still an ignition point. After confirming that there is no ignition, firefighters began to use multi-purpose water cannons to exhaust smoke and cool down. After 20 minutes of disposal, the fire was successfully extinguished at the scene. After being asked, it was learned that it turns out that the little girl is out of curiosity, lighting a scrap of paper picked up from the ground with a lighter. As a result, the phone box was accidentally set on fire. Nowadays, as long as the bear child does not stare at him for 1 second, it may be possible to demolish the home. If there wasn't a camera recording this terrifying scene, I wouldn't have believed it. There was no impact, but the electric pole fell onto the road. The surprising thing was that at that time there were 2 mother and child on the road. While running away, the child fell down. What's more scary is that the electric pole fell right there, but luckily there was a car there, so the baby was okay. I still feel pressure when I watch the sparks collide. A guy and his friends filmed a clip exploring deep in the forest, and this is what they encountered. It seemed like they had encountered something truly terrifying. As far as I can see, it's a girl wearing a white shirt, long hair, and can't see her face clearly. When the guy tried to get closer, the girl disappeared. This is a video of a Vietnamese man climbing a tree to retrieve a beehive, but what he encountered made everyone who saw it shudder. Because of an incident, he accidentally dropped the torch. Thousands of bees stung him, but he still calmly climbed down the tree carefully. Removing beehives from the wild is very dangerous, requires high skills, and requires protective clothing.